Okay, so we're going to do a quick demonstration here on how to do the buoy rig, or the tie-off rig we keep getting asked about. This is the basic setup. Got a big float there, that's a 200 gram float. You can quite easily put like a 2.5 ounce lead on there and a bait up to about 1.5 pounds. That'll look after that quite easily. Now the important bit of this setup, if you can see on that, is there's a free running swivel just above the float. Now that's what we actually tie a weak link off to, and then we attach that weak link to a feature on the far bank, and then basically you'll end up float fishing just like that with your bait working underneath the float. And it means there's no line in the water to spook the fish, and there's nothing to stop it attacking the bait. We've got a starlight on the top of the float there. That's so we can see it at night, because when you are on the far bank at night, you'll fish your rod up in the air tied off, and it'll be tricky to actually see your float. So it's a good idea having a starlight in there. And then what normally happens, we'll show you on the other side of the bank, but your rod will be tied up to this on the weak link. The cat will come and take it from underneath, take it under, snap the weak link, and from your bank, the rod will actually bend over, where you'll know you get a bite. You'll have a rattle on the rod, rattling away, weak link will snap and the rod will come up slack. That's when you get the rod out of the holder, wind down and hit it. So the idea now is we're just going to put a carp on. We've got some nice little carp here as bait, and I'm going to tie it off to the far bank. Okay, so here we go. So the idea is, on this rig, you hook the fish on the top hook, and the bottom hook is just free roaming. It's just floating around there, just ready to hook the cat. So we've got one of these bait bands on, which is like a 2-inch piece of rubber. The way I hook it is to hook it just behind the dorsal fin, a couple of scales down, a couple of scales in, put that right through the carp, pull the band down tight to the fish, stretch it across, and then you can see it sits there just like a little saddle. Ideal. So the carp will be swimming around like this, and you've got a free hook there just to make sure that you get a hook up. And the next thing to do is to actually tie the weak link onto the swivel, which I've pegged in, because what can happen a lot of the time, you get over here, your swivel goes in the water, you've got to start again. There we go. So we've got some 8-pound breaking strain line here. I found the easiest way to do it is just put a loop on the end of the line, put the loop through the swivel, put the spool of line back through the loop, and there we go. Now we've got the gentleman, Mr. Phil Aylett, on the other end of the rod. If you can wind in, please, Phil. What I'm going to do here is just chuck that out there. Phil can wind that in now. I'm going to brave these bushes and go around and tie off to a tree. It is quite shallow in the margins here, which is why we're going quite a distance out. I think that should do us. So now it's just a case of tie the weak link off to the tree. A couple of standard loop knots. You want it to break fairly easily. Okay, so here we are back at the rod end of the rig. So all I've done is I've just pulled the rod tight, pulled all the line tight. You can see there that I can just lift the float out of the water if I want to. You want to be fairly careful because you don't want to be snapping the weak link at this point. Basically, we've just got a basic rod holder in the ground here, and it's just the idea that we fish the rod upright like that with the bait runner off, we tighten it up so all the line, the weak link and the line, the braid coming all the way down to the float is out of the water. And then for indication, during the day and when you're close to your rods, we just put a bell on the top of the rod. You can hear that. And basically that'll give you an indication that when the cats come up underneath the float, up underneath the bait usually gets an idea that it's getting attacked. So you'll usually hear this in the background, you'll get an idea that your rod's going. You'll come over, you'll usually see your float go right under and your rod will bend right down. And then when the weak link snaps, your rod springs back up, and then you just wind down then, hit the fish as you normally would on a normal take. That's pretty much it. The only thing I would say is that if you are going to go to sleep, you can't leave the rod just on a bell and expect the bell to wake you up. So you would need some kind of bank stick in front with a delkim on or a bite alarm on with a swivel motion. And basically we've got a rod set up over there which we'll pan around and show you. Okay, so here's one we prepared earlier. As you can see, it's in the same upright position. We've got a bite alarm here on a swivel and a bank stick just sat in front. You've got a bobbin on there just in case you get a drop back. But what you'll get is basically you'll get this tapping action off the rod, and that'll give you enough indication to let you know that in the middle of the night you've got a fish on.